Hogue. We are here for another live cooking demonstration. Let me know if you can't hear me. I will check YouTube at any time. If you have any questions, put them in the live chat and I will check them. So I just got a thumbs up that we have sound. Okay. I'm gonna just put this on here so I can see your questions. I wanna thank you guys all for joining. It is a beautiful day. Okay, so if you're new to our channel here at Hogue Health, please hit the subscription button below. That way you will get notifications when we're coming on live. And we have things almost every day of the week, from cooking demonstrations, nutrition topics. We have exercise, stability class, yoga class, boot camp. We have a lot going on here. You don't want to miss it. So please subscribe to our channel. I'm going to heat up this while I'll talk here. Okay, so today we are making creamy potato soup. Hopefully, I say this every week, that we should be getting cooler weather. Today's feeling pretty warm, but you know, this is California, so it's never sure what it wants to do. But going into fall now, and we get cozy when the sun sets earlier, and soups are just the perfect appetizer or main dish to have. And this one is really easy. I keep all our recipes here easy, fast, and just family friendly. The kids will love it, packed with nutrition. So we are going to be making sweet potato soup. It is dairy free. So how are we gonna make that creamy? We are making it creamy with white beans. That's the trick. If you don't wanna use dairy and cream and heavy creams, we're gonna skip the saturated fat and throw in a powerhouse, the white beans. So just get yourself canned, organic white beans. You don't have to cook them from scratch. Just rinse them really well and use that in your recipe. And I will be posting the recipe later today. You'll see it in the comments. And if you don't want to lose this video, you just want to hit the save and you can put that in your library. So the beans, packed, nutritionally packed with so much good stuff. Let's talk a little bit about the white beans. So it's plant-based protein, so it's a great source of protein, very high in fiber, and so women need about 25 grams minimum a day of fiber, and men 38 grams of fiber. So 1 cup of beans is about 12 to 13 grams, so it's a good amount. Not that you're gonna be eating a cup, or you could be, but I just wanted to give you that nutritional breakdown. But it's also very high in numerous micronutrients, folate, copper, and iron. It's very high in those three, and those aid in energy production and iron metabolism. But these beans are also high in vitamin B6, magnesium, phosphorus, potassium, so you can see a lot of micronutrients. It is also, the beans are high in polyphenol antioxidants. So these antioxidants combat oxidative stress in the body, and so they can help reduce or help protect against chronic diseases, heart disease, cancer, things like that. So packed with a punch. Always have canned beans in your pantry because they come in handy, especially when nothing's ready to eat. You can always pop open a can and create a meal, quick and easy. So I'm just going to first heat up, we need a pot. You can also cook this in the Instant Pot if that's what you want to use. So I'm gonna heat and just put in a drop of oil. So this is at the bottom. And I'm just gonna turn that around a little bit so you can see how packed of nutrition our beans are. So we need beans. We're using the Yukon yellow potatoes. We need a 1.5 pounds, and I'm just gonna do half of the recipe, but 1.5 pounds of the Yukon potatoes. Lots of potassium, fiber, energy. There's so much nutrition in our potatoes, and they're very comforting. and give us lots of energy. Okay, so we first heat up our large pot, our Dutch oven, okay, medium heat. Now we're gonna use the white onion. So I chopped up, you're gonna chop up a large white onion, so we're gonna put that in the pot. Let this heat up a little bit, and then they're gonna cook. So what I'm gonna do today, since the soup does take about 30 minutes, I cooked a little bit of it yesterday, so I'm gonna show you the end product. We're not gonna just sit here and look at it cook, right? So this should be heated up. Gonna put in our onions, cook those in there first. I probably should open the room because there's a heavy smell of onions in here, which I like, but. Okay, so these onions are gonna cook in here. And that should just take, we'll put some salt in there and some pepper. So it does take about 6 to 8 minutes for the onions to get soft. So I'm gonna put some pepper, salt and pepper. Not too many spices in this. There's garlic in this recipe, some lemon and smoked paprika. A little bit of, what do I have? Dijon mustard. And a little bit of lemon juice and white wine vinegar, just a tablespoon, not a lot. So make sure, if you have any questions, let me know. I can see them in the chat box. Okay, so this is cooking. So we're not gonna wait 6 to 8 minutes, but you're gonna cook your onions for 6 to 8 minutes until they're soft, okay? And then we're gonna add in the garlic. So we have 4 garlic cloves chopped. And if you like to eat leftovers, that's me right here. I don't want to cook every day. You make a big pot of this. You can also freeze it and use it some other time. But you can have it for several days. And yesterday I had a YouTube and we talked about meal planning and meal prepping. This is a great recipe, or any soup, just to make extra so you can have it for several days. And you can pack it to work and have it for lunch. And you can also, if it's gonna be your meal, you can add more beans for more protein. You can also have it as a side, and maybe you're gonna eat it with a piece of fish or a piece of chicken, or you wanna throw in some ground turkey in there for added protein. When we meal prep, if you change it up a little bit, then you don't get bored of it, and you can eat it for 3-4 days in a row if you just change it and tweak it a little bit. So there's a lot of ways to cook once, eat 3 or 4 days, and stay on track with reaching your nutrition goals. Okay, so this is 6 to 8 minutes. Now we're gonna add the 4, we've got some garlic here. Chopped garlic, 4 cloves of chopped garlic. I wish you guys could smell this right now. Anything with garlic, right? Okay, so that cooks for 2 more minutes. And then we're gonna stir in the white wine vinegar, and that's just a tablespoon, not a lot. And if you don't have white wine vinegar, just use whatever vinegar you have. And if you don't have it, just leave it out. Okay, so that's cooking, the garlic's cooking. So we're gonna move on. I see a few of you joining, thanks for joining. So a tablespoon of white wine vinegar. Oh, that was a little bit over a tablespoon, but that's okay. Okay. And now we're gonna add our vegetable broth. So 4 cups of vegetable broth. I just bought this one here, organic vegetable broth. I did buy low sodium. I like to add my salt if I need more salt in a recipe. So that's why I buy low sodium. If something needs more salt, then I'll add it. So we get to control what's in our food. So let's put in So this is 4 cups. The recipe calls for 4 cups. So you would just use the whole container. So we're gonna add that vegetable broth. Okay, so now we add in the potatoes and the white beans. And then that's when it's gonna bring it to a boil, and then we let it simmer for 30 minutes. So I have the chopped potatoes right here. We're gonna add the chopped potatoes. So I just cut them in small pieces. You can cut them really small, we're gonna blend some of the soup, so they are gonna get blended, but you can cut them in quarters or a little bit smaller if you like. So let's throw these in there. These Yukon potatoes. Cook really fast. Okay. And our white beans. So the recipe calls for 1.5 cups of white beans. You just want to rinse and drain your beans. So I have them here. I'm just going to measure it out. It's almost the whole thing. Okay. Let's see. So we got our beans in there. So now we're going to let this come to a boil. Any questions so far? Let me know, put them in the live chat. Okay, so this comes to a boil pretty quick, and then you're gonna let it simmer for 30 minutes, and that's when the potatoes are gonna really cook and get soft. So we'll just let this cook here. Okay, I'm gonna show you what the end product looks like. Let's move a few things. So I haven't blended the soup up yet. I didn't put it in my blender. Okay, so it was already cooked, simmered for 30 minutes. So you have this cooked mixture here. Okay, can you see that? We're gonna blend it though. So you take half of the soup after it cools down a little bit, and you blend it. I got this beautiful beast here of a blender, and we're going to blend it. So, without making a mess here, I'm losing my soup, I'm going to carefully put it in my blender. I don't have an immersion blender, so we're just gonna do it this way. And this is where we're gonna add in the mustard and the lemon juice and a tablespoon of olive oil. Let's get the liquid in there so it blends. So you'll have like a chunky, creamy soup. So the white beans adds the cream and the nutrition, lots of nutrition, versus having a creamy base made with like heavy cream. Okay, so let's put this on our blender. Okay, close that up. Oh, we forgot the other stuff. Lemon juice, we got our lemon. We just need a tablespoon of lemon juice, some more vitamin C here. That's just about that much, just eyeballing it. And half a teaspoon of Dijon, just a drop there. That might have been too much. And what else do we need? A drop of olive oil, 1 tablespoon. And this is when you would add in your paprika. Unfortunately, I don't have the paprika today, so that's when you would add it in. Now we're gonna close it up. and blend this. It's gonna be noisy for a second. Okay, super quick. So then this is where you mix it with the remaining soup. Very creamy. I'm going to show you how that came out, right? Look at that. Very smooth and creamy. Let me come closer to the camera. So that's our soup that's blended. Can you see that? There you go. Okay. So then you would just add it back into your soup. But if you like it all just creamy, then you would blend it all. But I like chunkiness in my soup, some texture, and something to chew a little bit. So then we're gonna mix this. So make sure, like I left some potatoes a little bit too big. So just make sure you chop those potatoes into little squares. I think that's better, so you don't have these big potatoes in your soup. Looks amazing. We will taste it. So it's cold now, right? But you are gonna eat it warmed. So we got some beans in there that didn't get blended. We got some potatoes in there. So it's chunky and creamy at the same time. Okay. Now we are going to, you can season it at this point, you can taste it. Let's give it a taste. It's delicious. I would put for myself a little bit more pepper, and then maybe a dash of salt. Okay, just gonna mix that up. Okay, so let's serve ourselves some soup and then garnish it. So there's options. You can put some scallions on top. So let's first spoon this out. Let's see. Oops, lost some to the table. Okay, perfect. I'm going to just, because I left a potato in there, it's too big, I'm gonna just chop it up a little bit. I like smaller pieces. So make sure you cut your potatoes in little chunks. Okay, so what are we gonna do? We're gonna put a little bit of cheese on top, a little bit of some green onion here. Let's get our knife. Let's garnish this a little bit. Finishing touches. Okay, we got a few of those on there. And you can take whatever cheese you like. I got some cheddar cheese. Put a few sprinkles. I just have a slice here and I'm just gonna take a piece off. So let's add a little bit of cheese. So if you're vegan, you can put your vegan cheese. Just adds a little bit. Okay, and then instead of sour cream, we're gonna put a little teaspoon of our Greek yogurt. Just put that right there. Perfect. I like lots of onions, so I'm gonna put a few more. And that is our creamy potato soup. Let me show you what that looks like. Okay, this is a crowd pleaser, I promise you. Who doesn't love a really good potato? And then potato soup on top of it, right? So, it's not the most colorful soup, but it sure is packed with a nutrition punch. And it's super creamy, so let's give it a taste. It's delicious. I wish it was warm. So it's a great, even a holiday soup, meal prepping soup. It could be your appetizer, or it could be your main dish. Like I said, if it's your main dish, maybe add some ground turkey, a piece of chicken, maybe you want salmon, some fish, or more beans to give you a little bit more protein. So let's take questions. Do you guys have any questions about our creamy potato soup? Any questions? Let's see. No questions. It's so simple, right? So you just need your Yukon potatoes, some white onion, a can of white beans, and then we had some vegetable broth, some Dijon mustard, a little bit of olive oil, white vinegar, garlic, lemon juice, and then you can garnish it if you like with some cheese, onions, and Greek yogurt. So it's very basic, but it is a very satisfying and delicious soup, and it's easy. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's recipe, and I don't see any questions coming in. So we're going to end this, and let's just take another bite. Wish you guys all could share this with me. I definitely love the pieces in there. I love a little bite in my soup, so I keep it chunky. But you guys can change it up and modify this recipe however you like, but it is super healthy, packed with a lot of vitamins, minerals, protein, fiber, energy, and even your kids will love it. So if you guys do make it, let me know. Put a comment back on our video. I'd love to hear from you. And if you have friends that can want some of this information, cooking demos, or what have you that we have on our Hoag Health, share our channel with them so we can reach more people in our community. We'd appreciate that. Okay, well, it's Wednesday and I'm going to log off now. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I will see you next week with another easy cooking demonstration for you. Thank you for joining.